St. Mary Netherton Daily Chronicle, Evening Edition, January 29th, 1926. Good evening, dear listeners. Edmund Pruitt addressing you as the village clock strikes 6 on this Friday, which has brought our community together in appreciation of youthful accomplishment. The day unfolded as young Mr. Willoughby predicted, with the overcast skies releasing their promised drizzle during the early afternoon before clearing by tea time, leaving what Mrs. Pemberton describes as the sort of stillness that settles once the rain has said its piece, with the chimney smoke rising straight and true, and the last light of January spreading across the hills. The penmanship exhibition at the parish hall drew a most gratifying attendance throughout the afternoon. Residents arrived in steady numbers to admire the pupils' work, with parents expressing pride at the progress their children have demonstrated. The submissions displayed considerable variety in style, from the painstaking efforts of our youngest scholars to the more assured flourishes of those approaching their final school years. Mr. Thornley reports that visitors lingered over the displays with evident appreciation, and several grandparents were observed pointing out particular letterforms to younger family members with quiet satisfaction. The tea room's Cornish splits proved popular throughout the afternoon, with Mrs. Hartley finding it necessary to prepare a fresh supply before the day was through. Watson devoted the afternoon to monitoring a loose thread on the window curtain, returning to it at intervals throughout the day, as though confirming it had not worsened in his absence. Miss Joyce Bellamy spent her first full day in St. Mary Netherton, acquainting herself with the village and Dr. Peterson's practice. The young nurse accompanied the doctor on his afternoon rounds, and several residents had opportunity to introduce themselves. Mrs. Peterson reports that her niece looks forward to becoming better acquainted with our community in the weeks ahead, adding with fond amusement that the young woman remains rather puzzled by an extended stop at Mrs. Barnes's yard, where Dr. Peterson provided what he termed essential introductions to a hen. Mrs. Barnes's leghorn hen produced its afternoon egg at 3:15, which Dr. Peterson characterizes as steady Friday productivity that rounds out a January of reliable contribution, adding that Miss Bellamy will no doubt come to appreciate the bird's significance to his documentation efforts in due course. That concludes our evening report. This is Edmund Pruitt bidding you good night from St. Mary Netherton, where Friday draws to a close with the week's efforts warmly received, and the familiar comfort of neighbours both old and new settling in for the evening.